Hi, this is Anna Nowakowska, and in this part of the Tibco Advanced Analytics Meetup, we will show you how the Tibco Fast Data platform can be used to design, deploy, and monitor a marketing campaign built around real-time analytics of customer attrition and lifetime value. The example we will be presenting uses synthetic data from a fictitious company selling skincare products online. The solution targets three business objectives: reducing customer attrition, increasing the lifetime value of customers, and maximizing return on investment from marketing campaigns. In the first part of the demonstration, we will use Spotfire and Churn to build a predictive model on historical customer data and score the current customer base in terms of their probability to attrit, as well as their predicted lifetime value. We will then use these two metrics, probability of attrition and lifetime value, to build customer segments. We will then identify optimal offers to be made to each of the segments in order to reduce attrition and maximize the marketing campaign effectiveness. Once we identify the best offer for each customer, we will demonstrate the customer experience on the skincare company website. As customers browse through the website, their activity is being monitored through the Tibco real-time event processing platform, and different offers are being presented. Further, we will show the call center interface, monitoring customers' activity in real time and allowing for targeted intervention via phone or email. Finally, we will imagine the marketing campaign has been running for a year, and we will use Spotfire to analyze its effectiveness across different customer groups and geographies. With that, I will pass the presentation to Peter, who will demonstrate the customer analytics and campaign design pieces.
Okay, well, this is Peter Shaw. I'll be talking about this Spotfire file to look at campaign design. What this does is it looks at a series of customers for a company, and the customers might be at risk for leaving in the future. So you're basically trying to come up with a marketing campaign to prevent your customers from leaving in the future. It's got a series of tabs you can see across the top here. I'll kind of cover these before I actually jump in and talk about them individually. The Customer Overview tab basically looks at your existing crop of customers, where they are, some information about them, some demographics, and so forth. The Attrition Lifetime Value Modeling tab basically comes up with a lifetime value for every customer and then builds a predictive model for estimating the probability that the customer might be at risk for leaving in the near future. This is based on some historical data of your past customers. And so at that point, each of your customers is identified with a lifetime value and a probability that they might leave in the near future. The Offer Design tab takes this information and basically compares a couple different offers. So for each customer, it kind of balances the lifetime value with the probability of attrition, how effective each of the offers is, and how much the offers cost, and comes up with the best offer or no offer to give each customer. This Target Customers tab here will actually go through your existing customers and kind of show you which is the best offer for the customers. Okay, so the first tab here is a broad overview of the customers, where they are, what their the broad numbers are. So the top row of numbers here shows, for example, the number of customers, how much they spend, the average spend there, the average length of time they've been members, some of their web activity, and then the baseline attrition rate is about 31%. So that's what you're dealing with. You'd like to understand, some more about that. If there's some patterns to that, either geographical or by gender or age distribution, for example. So I'd like to understand where that comes from, what you can do about that by making certain offers, for example. So the map here shows the color-coded states color-coded by the number of customers. So the darker states like California and Texas, these have the largest number of your customers. The numbers also shown down below in this bar graph. So the bars, the height of the bars are the number of customers. So here's California, Texas, New York, and Florida, and so forth. I can also choose to color code this by the attrition rate to see if there's any kind of geographical distribution of the attrition rate. I don't see any right here, but there could be a pattern. It might be worth keeping an eye on that. So there could be some geographical component to that. The pie chart over here shows the breakdown of males versus female customers. This is a fictitious company making skincare products, so we would expect there to be more females than males. We may want to also look at the patterns associated with that as well. At the lower right-hand side, we see both the age distribution as well as the male-female breakdown. So there's mostly 18 to 25-year-old people, and then the 41 or plus would be a smaller minority of the overall customers. So there are some additional choices here. I can look at the locations of the customers by clicking that link right there. This brings up a layer in the map to show where the customers actually are geographically. Also, I can look at the distribution of genders by state, so I can look at the breakdown of that. Let's look for any patterns there. Okay, so the next tab is the Attrition and Lifetime Value Modeling tab. So what this does is it's trying to go through customer by customer and come up with a lifetime value for them and a probability of attrition. So the results, if you will, are shown in the lower left-hand side here. So here's basically customer by customer, and here's the lifetime value. In this column, here's the probability of attrition in that column there. There's a little red dot next to the customer with a higher probability of attrition, probability of leaving, if you will. So the lifetime value is produced by a model that looks at the past behavior, the past purchasing behavior, the frequency and the amounts of purchases. Now, the probability of attrition comes from a different model, which looks at previous customers in sort of historical data. So we have two data sets on top here. The very top data set has, against row by row, is a customer by customer. These, by the way, are totally made up customer names and so forth. There's no real data here at all. So it gives it the age category, the number of days, and so forth, information about the customer. Plus, it has this indicator variable here, canceled, which tells whether or not they had left by the end of that study period. So this is historical data. We can use this data set to build a predictive model on whether they'll, what can be used to predict this indicator variable right here, and then apply that to the second data set here. These are your actual live, your current live customers. You don't know if they'll cancel or not because that thing hasn't happened yet. It's basically 6 months out from now or whatever. So you're trying to build this predictive model. We have a very simple model here, so just really for illustrative purposes only. So it's basically coming up with a prediction of the probability of leaving for every customer here. So it's a GLM model. You could use a lot more fancy models if you had a lot more rich data set. But at the end of the day, the model serves to assign a probability of attrition for every customer. And there's some diagnostics here which describe the model, how good the model is. Okay, so the next tab is the offer design tab. Now, the purpose of this process here is to basically figure out which offer to give each of your customers. Okay, so the left-hand panel basically compares a couple different offers. So at the top we have, no offer, which obviously has cost 0, and the churn here is the baseline churn rate, or 31%. So offer A, if you will, is, free shipping. Let's say the cost of this is $15. And let's say offer B is basically offer A plus a free gift. And offer B is more expensive, its cost is $60. Okay. Now we have some churns filled in here. And the idea here is that you just choose a random selection of customers and you just send these, some of offer A and some of offer B. You just kind of measure what their churn rate is after receiving the gifts and, agreeing to whatever terms you have in the agreement. So from this information, it's possible to go through your customers, and for a given customer with a given probability of churning and their value, it's possible to come up with a value of each of these two offers or no offer. All right, the middle panel here basically analyzes the offers in terms of these two main dimensions. So the x-axis is the customer lifetime value, and the y-axis is the probability of churning. Now, each of the points here represents like a is kind of like a hypothetical customer. It's basically a grid of values meant to kind of fill in this entire grid here with points. So the way this works is, for example, if a customer has a value of $800 and the probability of leaving of 30%, they'll get the yellow offer, which is offer A. If their value is a bit lower, then they'll get no offer at all. But if their customer lifetime value is higher, they'll get a offer B, the more valuable offer. So offer B is basically reserved for the more valuable customers. But even then, even the highest value customers only get offer A or B if they're in the middle of the probability. If they're very unlikely to churn, then there's no point giving them an offer because they're just going to stay around. If they're very likely to churn, they're kind of lost causes. So even if you give an offer, they're still going to leave anyway. So there's no point to giving these customers or those customers the offer. Basically, it's the middle of the road where they're sort of on the fence. They haven't decided perhaps if they're going to leave or not. So the offers have the most probability of having an effect. So if if, for example, offer B, if the cost of this is instead of $60, let's say it's $100, and type that in, this region will actually change. So the dark kind of gold region kind of got smaller. It moved to the right, and that means that with a higher cost offer, that the kind of threshold, if you will, of this customer to get the offer is moved higher. So the very highest value customers still get offer B, but the middle of the road customers now get offer A instead. So it's a way of basically evaluating which offer to give each customer. So to think about the very low end here, the people who are very unlikely to leave, they're pretty safe customers and so forth. But some of these low probability customers still have an offer assigned to them, and you may just want to say, look, this customer has only a 10% chance of leaving. I don't want to annoy them with an ad or an offer or a pop-up. So I want to just leave them alone because they're pretty safe customers. So this is actually controlled through this minimum score here. So if I change this to, for example, 15%, change that, this little red line moves up and the bottom is now filled with basically no offer. So there is a way of controlling, the fine tuning of this kind of a system where you can say, look, customers who are below this value, just leave them alone. I'm only going to send any offer to customers above this kind of threshold. So now I'll pass it back to Anna, who will talk about the target customers and the rewards program, the website.
Thank you, Peter. Here we are looking at the target customers tab in the same Spotfire analysis that Peter was showing. Now that we have scored each of our customers with a lifetime value and a probability to leave, and we have assigned the most effective offer to each of them, in this view we can again see the overview of our customer base. The numbers on top of the page highlight how many customers we assign to both offers, as well as how many are not going to receive an offer at all. We also see the total number of customers, their average predicted probability of churn prior to receiving an offer, which unsurprisingly is equal to 31%, which was the baseline attrition rate we saw in the first step, and their average lifetime value. The map is colored by the predicted probability of attrition, and the bar chart below the map lists top 10 states with highest average predicted churn rates. We can further inspect the differences in these numbers by geography, by selecting different states in the map. I will select California, and we see the dashboard respond to the selection. The table to the right lists all of our customers and includes detail about their predicted lifetime value, probability of attrition, and the assigned offer. Notice these links behind customer IDs. Clicking on any of these will take me to a CRM system showing details for each customer. Let me select Sarah Michelle. We see Sarah's profile come up. We can inspect her personal details as well as her purchase history. She is a relatively high-value customer with a 52% probability of churn, and we are planning to target her with a more valuable offer. Let's now look at Adam. Again, we can inspect Adam's profile and his purchase history. He has a high probability of attrition, 87%, but since he is a relatively low-value customer, he's going to receive the less valuable offer, free shipping, no gift. Now that we have a complete list of customers with the offers we want to present to them, we can deploy this list to Tibco Reward by clicking this button here, the RealTime Marketing and Customer Loyalty Management platform. We are now in the Tibco Reward environment, which is a real-time marketing and customer loyalty management platform. Let me go to the Engage page to see the list of offers. We see the free shipping and the free gift offers on the list. Let's first open the free shipping offer to see the details. We see we can set the time window for the offer to run, and once it's live, we'll be able to track the number of customers who accept the offer. Let's also have a look at the other offer. Free shipping plus gift. And again, we see we can set the timeline for the offer and track the offer acceptance. Now that we have the two offers set up, we will switch to the end customer perspective and simulate their experience on the skincare company website. We will see two different customers receiving different offers based on both the model we built on historical data as well as their actions in real time. We are now looking at the end customer's experience on the website. Let's first log in as Adam. As Adam browses through the website, his actions are being monitored by Tibco's complex event processing platform, Streambase. If Adam is considering canceling his account, he might type cancel into the search box to find out how to go about closing his account with the skincare company. Let's see what happens when he does that. We see Adam not only received search results for his query, but also the free shipping offer which was assigned to him in the Spotfire model. Let's now log in as Sarah. Okay, so we are now logged in as Sarah, who is the more valuable customer. Let's see what happens when Sarah types cancel. Since Sarah is a more valuable customer and now she's considering canceling her account, the more expensive free gift plus free shipping offer comes up. So here we clearly see how the insights gained in Spotfire through building an attrition and lifetime value model on historical data and assigning offers result in action and real-time value by applying these insights to real-time streaming data. So let's now look at the call center interface where the customer's actions can be monitored and acted upon in real time. Okay, so now we're looking at the call center interface, which is a live view dashboard monitoring customers on the website. Each dot in this chart here represents one customer. The size of the dot reflects the lifetime value of the customer, and the vertical position reflects the probability of attrition. So the higher the customer's probability to leave, the higher their position on the display. The table below shows details of customers' activity on the website. As we monitor the customer's behavior in real time, we can click on any of them to bring up their profile and take an action. So just a minute ago, we looked at Sarah's experience on the website. We saw she typed cancel into the search box and was presented with an offer. And now in this call center interface, we can look at the real-time data these actions produced and act upon them. So now that we know Sarah searched for how to cancel her account and we have her detailed information here, we can decide what to do next. The interface shows three options for interacting with the customer: chat, email, or phone. So now that we have looked at the customer experience on the website and the call center interface, let's imagine we have been running this marketing campaign for a year and want to monitor its performance and measure results. I will now pass the presentation over to Peter, who will show you how this can be achieved in Spotfire.
Okay, so this DXP file looks at the whole idea about campaign monitoring. So it's the basic premise is you've been doing your campaign, giving these offers out, offers A and offers B, for some time, perhaps a year, and you want to go back and look and see how well you've been doing with your campaign. Those offers were based on a model, a statistical model. So the model's making some predictions. You're making your business decisions based on that model. So you just want to see, all right, how good is the model? Are we making money? How are you doing? So the first tab here is basically a campaign overview of the entire, the past year's worth of data. The top numbers here show the total number of customers you've targeted, just over 4,000. As before, the average churn rate with no offer, the baseline is about 31%. And you've got offers A and offers B here. Offers A, you've reduced the churn down to 25%. And the offer B, which is the free shipping plus your gift, you reduce it down to 22%. So the grid at left here shows, it kind of breaks down this churn rate by the gender and the age group. And the color, the blues and pinks are the males and females, and the shades of the colors are the churn rate by the offer. No offer, free shipping, and gift plus free shipping. So as expected, the no offer has the highest churn rate, and the various offers have lower churn rates. But there are some differences that you can see here based on the gender and the age group. So that's pretty interesting. That the model originally didn't perhaps take that into consideration. So that's actually pretty important and interesting to look at. So the lower right-hand plot here kind of shows the time series of the churn rate over time. So the y-axis here is the churn rate, and the x-axis is time in days from the start of the campaign to now. So it's like a year out, okay? And the colors are the offers. So the gray here is no offer. The yellow is offer A, the free shipping. And the kind of gold here is the giftless free shipping offer B. Also, the top row is females and lower row is males. And these different panels here are the 18 to 25, 26 to 40, and 41 plus ages. So you kind of got it broken down by the age category and the male or female, the rows here. So the top left one is kind of what you might expect. The no offer is pretty constant here, and offer A has a lower churn. Offer B is even lower than that. Just kind of eyeballing from 18 to 25 females to 26 to 40 females, there's a bit of a difference between the overall churn rate. The 26 to 40 might have a bit lower churn rate than the younger ones do for whatever reason. Also, what you can kind of notice is that the males in the same age group, it looks like offers A and B are pretty much the same. That might be because offer B is the free shipping plus a gift. Well, it looks like the males didn't appreciate the gift perhaps, or the gift wasn't as popular. So, even though the gift is quite effective for the females, it's not doing much for the males. So that's the thing to take note of and possibly modify things. Also, it's kind of showing that for some reason, the overall churn rate, which is what the y-axis here is, has gone up for males. The older males, for some reason, in the later time periods, the churn rate has gone up, and the offer doesn't seem to have helped much. So that would be a thing to look at too. A very odd-looking plot upper right-hand side here shows that for older females, it looks like both offers have just stopped being effective. So for whatever reason, you're making these offers, they're accepting them, you're spending the money, but the churn rate is as if you didn't give them any offer at all. So that would be worth kind of looking at as well. Okay, so on the next tab, this tab here allows for a bit of drill down into what's going on with the customers. The upper left-hand graph here shows another time series, and instead of showing the actual churn rate, we're now showing the reduction in churn. Okay, so now positive is good. The higher you are, the better, because the higher reduction in churn. Offer B in general is higher than offer A, so offer B is more effective at reducing churn than offer A. And the group with the highest reduction in churn is the 26 to 40-year-old women compared to everybody else. You can see some of the same patterns here. For example, in the males, offers A and B are pretty much the same as they were before. There's that reduction toward the end as it was before. There's that big kind of drop off in the females 41 plus. So the reduction is pretty much around zero after that point. So halfway through the year, something happened. The lower left-hand side here shows another breakdown of the churn reduction by age and gender. So you can kind of see how that breaks down and see where the best reduction occurs, sort of corresponds to the graphs up above here too. So the way the drill down works is if I just highlight one of the groups here, the 26 to 40-year-old males, I get these points highlighted on the map, and the churn folks are shown in red here. The ones who didn't churn, decided to stay, are shown in green. So if I highlight these, it kind of shows them on the map where they are correspondingly. If I went to look at, for example, the big drop off in the females over here, highlight this group and look at where the people who stayed and versus churned are. All the churn people in the Northeast. This is actually kind of obviously made up data, but you get the idea. So if I want to kind of drill down, look at where these patterns are, I can drill down from this panel to the churn versus stay panel over here, and from there look at them on the map and see, okay, so these are all clustered in the Northeast part of the U.S. Perhaps there's some kind of competitor going on, some kind of competition going on, so that might be worth investigating. Why are these offers having no effect? The cost and return tab looks at the actual numbers of how much you're making from each of these demographic groups. So the top numbers here show that for the free shipping, the acceptance rate is about 74% accepted the offer, and you're making $900,000 net return from this offer. The offer B, the gift plus free shipping, is about the same acceptance rate, about $600,000 worth of return. And this is broken down in these left-hand panels over here, showing the acceptance rate down below, broken down by age group and gender, as well as the net return. The time series on the lower right-hand side show, the details of this over time. Again, the same overall patterns we saw before, but this is now shown in dollars on the y-axis versus time. So you're pretty much making money, except for perhaps the 41 plus males and the 41 plus females after the second half of the year. Okay, so I'm going to turn it back over to Anna for the alert configuration tab.
Thank you, Peter. So Peter has shown you how Spotfire can be used to monitor the marketing campaign over time and spot the population segments and times where the offers become less effective, as we have seen with females over 41 somewhere halfway through the campaign. Instead of looking at the entire year worth of data retrospectively after the fact, we could set a Spotfire analysis like this to run from the beginning of the campaign on a regular basis, let's say every week. We could then configure alerts that will be triggered if the offers lose their effectiveness. So in this alert configuration tab, we can see how the alert has been set up. This is typically stored in a database and not for the end user, but we expose these settings here for demonstration purposes. We see the cross table showing churn reduction rates in the campaign monitoring tab is used to trigger the alerts. When the churn reduction rate falls below 2% for any customer segment, an email is going to be sent out to the person responsible for the marketing campaign. The email message is going to be personalized for each recipient and will include an image representation of one of the visualizations. So let's now go back to the campaign monitoring tab. And we have this cross table here that will be driving the alerts. Let's imagine we are now in the second half of the campaign and the Spotfire analysis is rerunning. I will adjust the time slider here to reflect this. We see the churn reduction numbers have dropped below 2% in a few segments of the customer population, and we see them highlighting in red in the cross tab. So let me now run a job that in a real-life situation would be triggered automatically on, say, a weekly or a daily basis. So the scheduled alerting uses our Spotfire automation platform, which can also be used to be connected to streaming data platforms to trigger real-time alerts and Spotfire analysis. Now let me run this locally. Now, since the churn reduction numbers fell below the set thresholds, email alerts are going to be sent out to notify the person responsible for the campaign of what is happening. So you actually see the email notifications coming up here. So let's now go to my email inbox. And on the bottom here, we see the emails sent out by our alerting feature. If I open one of them, I see the alert about the offer effectiveness being reduced for females over 41. You will also notice the link to the library item. The person receiving the alert can click on the link and it opens up the Spotfire analysis in a web browser. With that, our fast data customer analytics demonstration concludes. To quickly recap, we have seen how the Tibco fast data platform can be used to build a customer attrition and lifetime value model on historical customer data, and how we can then score and segment the current customer base with respect to these two metrics. We then demonstrated how a marketing campaign can be designed and deployed, and how it affects the end user's experience. Finally, we saw how a campaign can be monitored and evaluated over time. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed this presentation.
Okay, great. Well, that was awesome. Wonderful analyses there of different customer analytic capabilities through Spotfire. And Peter's initial demo of how to do the basic tier data function. You can see how simple that was. Now, Peter did that, for clarification, did that demonstration using a fairly simple linear regression, which is available in the Spotfire menu, point and click. But as just an example of how you can do that, it's simple to wire up more complex machine learning methods, such as were shown in Peter and Anna's demonstrations. For example, gradient boosting or random forests or generalized additive models can be quickly wired up in that same way that Peter showed for the basic linear regression.